Good afternoon. Let's start the daily discussion. The first topic that we'll take for discussion today is about the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, because in September every year, the United Nations General Assembly annual session is held. It's a very regular feature that the month of September, third Tuesday, is the day on which the session starts every year. So, like the previous years, this year also the session started. Okay, and Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar addressed the session from India. Here, so each and every member country is given the option to address the House. Okay, and this address is normally not by the representative or the ambassador of the country sent to United Nations. Rather, it is the country is represented, okay, by anyone, the prime minister, the foreign minister, the foreign secretary, or any other person who is given the responsibility by the member country of United Nations. Okay. Even the opposition leader can also address the session on behalf of his host country. Fine. And this year, so Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar addressed this year's session on behalf of India. Fine. So, in his opening remarks, Jaishankar said, Namaste from Bharat. Our fully support United Nations Assembly's theme of rebuilding trust and reigniting global solidarity. So, he expressed India's commitment to the United Nations mission of rebuilding the trust among the member countries and reigniting global solidarity, which will definitely facilitate better functioning of United Nations. Fine. So something about the UNGA. It was established in 1945 under the Charter of the United Nations and is headquartered at the New York City in the UN headquarters. It is one of the six principal organs of the United Nations and serves as the main policy-making organ of the organization. So, for information, United Nations has six major organs. Such as the United Nations General Assembly, the United Nations Security Council, the United Nations Economic and Social Council. It is known as UNSC. It is known as UNE ECOSOC. Okay. Then the Trusteeship Council, then the Secretariat, and the International Court of Justice, or ICJ. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all these are headquartered or officiate from the UN headquarters at New York in USA, except the ICJ, which meets at The Hague in Netherlands. Fine. This is the odd man out. So UN function through these six major organs. And out of the six major organs, this trusteeship council is no more functional because there is no trust territory. The trusteeship council is no more that functional among the six major organs of the United Nations. So United Nations General Assembly is the major UN organ because every country is represented here. This is the only UN organization where each member country each represented. Okay, this is the only country, only organization. Because each member of United Nations get represented at the United Nations General Assembly. And you can say one more thing, United Nations General Assembly represent the principle called sovereign equality. Because only sovereign country can be member, and all member irrespective of their size, their military strength, technological advancement, economic capacity, all are treated equal. All equal. Fine. So it was established in 41 of the UN Charter, headquartered in New York City. Then on the sixth principal organ, it provides a unique forum for multilateral discussion of the full spectrum of international issues covered by the Charter of the United Nations. Okay, established as per the UN Charter. Each member state of UN has an equal vote. The National Assembly also makes key decisions for the UN, including appointing the Secretary General on the recommendation of the Security Council, electing the non-permanent member to the Security Council. So, 10 non-permanent members. So, Security Council has 15 members total, 5 permanent, 10 non-permanent, elected for 2-year term. They are also appointed by the General Assembly, electing the non-permanent member of the Security Council for a 2-year term. Approving UN budget. Some of the important achievement of UNGA, Millennium Development Declaration adopted in 2000. In the new millennium, the United Nations declared the Millennium Development Goal. Okay, MDG. They are called as the MDG. Okay, so MDG with 8 goals on poverty, hunger, housing, environment, health, etc. So MDG 1 2000, and it was succeeded by the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, in 2015 to 2030 with 17 goals. Here 8 goals, here 17 goals. The 17th settled goal in the September 2015 to be achieved targeted 2030. Okay. General debate of UNGA. The Assembly's annual general debate provides member countries the opportunity to express their views on major international issues. On this occasion, the Secretary General presents on the opening day of the debate his report on the work of the organization. The 78th UNGA held its 70th annual gathering from September 18 to 26, 2023. A. Jaishankar led the Indian delegation at the assembly. Dennis Francis of Trinidad and Tobago was elected by acclamation as the president of the 78th UN General Assembly session. In accordance with the established regional rotation, the president of the 78th session of the UNGA was to be elected from the Latin American Caribbean states. So, from the Trinidad and Tobago, the representative of that country was elected the president of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Okay. The theme of the 78th Assembly, rebuilding trust and regaining global solidarity, accelerating action on the 2030 agenda and its SDG towards peace, prosperity, progress and sustainability for all. Okay. So this is the theme of the 78th session. What? Rebuilding trust and reigniting global solidarity, accelerating action on the 2030 agenda and its SDG towards peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all. Key highlights of the speech delivered by the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. Well attack on Canada because India-Canada relation is strained at present on the Khalistan issue. So he underlined that political convenience cannot determine response to terrorism, extremism, and violence. This is very emphatic declaration. So political convenience cannot be determine response to terrorism, extremism, and violence. That is a bold declaration before the UN General Assembly session. Highlighted various forms of injustice. We must never again allow an injustice like vaccine apartheid to reoccur. Climate action too cannot continue to witness an evasion of historical responsibilities. The power of market should not be utilized to steer food and energy from the needy to the wealthy, as is being done right now. The people having wealth are able to get the food, and others who don't have the money are not in a position to be access the minimum food required. Okay, so this is where so the Indian External Affairs Minister highlighted Indian opinion at the General Assembly. Okay, respect for territorial integrity and non-interference in internal affairs cannot be exercised in cherry picking when reality departs from rhetoric. We must have the courage to call it out. Raised the issue of UN reforms. At India's initiative, the African Union was admitted as a permanent member of the G20. By doing so, India gave voice to an entire continent that has long been denied its due. So, because India being the host of the G20 Summit 2023, it added African Union as a member of the G20 group, thereby empowering the black continent, dark continent to be recognized globally. By doing so, India gave voice to an entire continent that has long been denied its due. This significant step in reform should inspire the United Nations, a much older organization, to also make the Security Council contemporary, because the Security Council is considered most unjust or unjust and most undemocratic, because the permanent membership offered to the member during the creation. So the global situation has changed a lot. Class right. Sure. Okay. So respect for territorial integrity non-interference in internal affairs cannot be exercised in cherry picking. Raise the issue of UN reforms. At India's initiative, the African Union was admitted as a permanent member of the G20. By doing so, India gave voice to an entire continent that has long been denied its due. This significant step in reform should inspire the United Nations, a much older organization, to also make the Security Council contemporary and give representation to the present geopolitical situation. Okay, for making it effectiveness and enhancing its credibility. India's G20 presidency, it was with a sense of exceptional responsibility. India took up the presidency of G20. Our vision of one earth, one family, one future sought to focus on the key concern of many and not just the narrow interest of the few. This vision sought to bridge divides and sow seed of collaboration. At a time when North-South divide is deep, the Delhi summit affirms that diplomacy and dialogue is the only way forward. And those days when a few nations used to set agenda are over. Cooperation with diverse partners. India also seek to promote cooperation with diverse partners. From the era of non-alignment, we have now evolved to that of Vishwamitra, a friend of the world. This is reflected in our ability and willingness to engage with a broad range of nations and where necessary harmonize interests. It is visible in the rapid growth of the world, the quadrilateral alliance. It is equally apparent in the expansion of the BRICS grouping with addition of more members, and the I2U2, India, Israel, USA, UAE. Then in Quad, USA, Japan, India, and Australia. And BRICS has added six more members to it in the recent summit. India, that is Bharat, civilizationally, polity, embarrassing modernity. I speak for a society where ancient traditions of democracy have struck deep modern roots. As a result, our thinking, approaches, and action are now more grounded and authentic and accepted by the world, was told by Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar. As a civilizational polity that embraces modernity, we bring both tradition and technology equally confidently to the table. It is the fusion that today defines India, that is Bharat. Fine. It was emphatically told by Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar at the addressing the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly on behalf of India. The next topic is rabies in India. So the Union Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Dairy has deleted a social media post where it said that rabies infection results in mild fever, restlessness, and headache. About rabies, it is a zoonotic disease, that means which spread from the animal to the man. It's called a zoonotic disease. Viral disease affecting the central nervous system. It causes progressive and fatal inflammation of the brain and spinal cord. Virus, Rabi virus, the scientific name is genus Lassa virus. It is one of the neglected tropical disease that predominantly affects already marginalized, poor and vulnerable populations. Clinically, it has two forms. Furious rabies characterized by hyperactivity and hallucinations. Paralytic rabies characterized by paralysis and coma. It is a vaccine preventable disease. It is estimated to cause 59,000 human deaths annually in over 150 countries, with 95% cases occur in Africa and Asia. Transmission through a deep bite or scratch from an animal with rabies, direct contact with the saliva of infected animals, symptoms fever, headache, nausea, vomiting, anxiety, confusion, hyperactivity, hallucinations, and insomnia, loss of memory, difficulty in swallowing, excessive salivation, fear brought on by attempt to drink fluids because of difficulty in swallowing water. Severity: the person does not receive the appropriate medical care after potential rabies exposure. The virus can cause disease in the brain, ultimately resulting in death. Treatment: extensive washing with water and soap for at least 15 minutes, and local treatment of the wound as soon as possible after suspected exposure. A course of potent and effective rabies vaccine that meets WHO standard, and the administration of rabies hemoglobin or monoclonal antibodies into the wound if indicated. Prevention: rabies can be prevented by vaccinating pets, staying away from the wildlife, and seeking medical care after potential exposure before symptoms starts. Facts and figures: India accounts for 36% of the world's rabies deaths. About 30 to 60% of the reported rabies cases and death in India occur in children under the age of 15 years, as bites that occur in children often go unrecognized and unreported. About neglected tropical disease, these diseases are a diverse group of 20 conditions that are mainly prevalent in tropical areas where they affect more than 1 billion people who live in improvised communities. They are caused by a variety of pathogens including viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, and toxins. These diseases cause devastating health, social, and economic consequences to more than 1 billion people. They are neglected because they are almost absent from the global health agenda. Initiative taken: National Action Plan for Dog Medicated Rabies Elimination NAPRE. Under this, the Union will encourage all the states and union territories to make rabies in a notifiable disease. A notifiable disease is any disease that is required by law to be reported to government authorities. Joint Interministerial Declaration Support Statement for Elimination of Duck Medicated Rabies from India by 2030 was also launched. It emphasized on the need for one health approach for achieving the 2030 target. Okay, so joint interministerial declaration also target to end it by 2030, control by 2030. Okay, so rabies diagnosis, collaboration, vaccination, education, surveillance, Everyone plays a role. Persons make a different goal community. One health each for everyone. This is the target. One. Okay. The Animal Welfare Board of India has also requested the concerned authority to take appropriate action and to effectively implement the animal birth control rules 2023 to control the dog population. National Rabies Control Program. It provides rabies vaccine and immunoglobulin through free national drug initiatives, conducting training on appropriate animal bite management, prevention and control of rabies, surveillance and intersectoral coordination, strengthening surveillance of animal bites and rabies death, reporting and creating awareness about rabies prevention. September 28, 2020 is the 17th World Rabies Day. World Rabies Day theme is all for one, one health for all. The day also honors the memory of the French scientist named Louis Pasteur. Passed away on September 28, 1985. Pasteur created the vaccine to prevent rabies, a deadly disease. National Rabies Control Program. It provides rabies vaccine and immunoglobulin through free national drug initiatives, conducting training on appropriate training on appropriate animal bite management, prevention and control of rabies, surveillance and intersectoral coordination, strengthening surveillance of animal bites and rabies death, reporting and creating awareness about rabies prevention. September 2023 is the 17th World Rabies Day. So it is the theme is all for one, one health for all. The day also honors the memory of French scientist Louis Pasteur who developed the vaccine for this disease. The next is the Arogya Mantham 2023. The National Health Authority, NHA, Minister of Health and Family Welfare, is organizing the Arogya Manthan to celebrate 5 years of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, ABPMJY, and 2 years of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. The two-day event, 25th to and 26th September, at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Ayushman Bharat PMJY Jana Arogya Yojana was launched in 23rd September 2018, a scripted saga of health, productivity, and prosperity with 5.5 crore free hospitalization worth 69,000 crore. Okay. The Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, launched in 27th September 2021, is a very ambitious scheme of government aimed at creating a digital highway connecting different stakeholders of healthcare ecosystem. The National Health Authority will acknowledge the best performing states and union territory and health facilities. During the event, Kerala has received the Arogya Manthanam 2023 award for the third consecutive time for providing free medical treatment to the highest number of individuals in the country, particularly through the Karunyo Arogya Suraksha scheme. In terms of highest number of treatment, the awards were won by Kerala, Meghalaya, Puducherry in the category of large state, small state, and union territory, respectively. In gender equality service delivery, the awards were won by Karnataka, Meghalaya, and Jammu and Kashmir in the category of large state, small state, and union territory, respectively. The state of then the next topic is the Rhino. The state of the rhino report 2023 was published. The greater one horn rhino population in India and Nepal is growing, as highlighted in the state of the rhino report 2023, which is good news. Okay, one horn rhino. Okay, this is the greater one horn rhino, which is very famous in Kaziranga, Assam. Assam recorded zero poaching and rhinoceros for the first time in 2022 in the nearly to 25 years. Rhino are one of the most critically endangered species on the earth. Rhino horn is poached to sell on the black market, mostly in China and Vietnam. The misconception that the catherine in the rhino horn has medicinal properties that can cure a variety of ailments from hangover to erectile dysfunctions has made rhino poaching lucrative. Indian rhino are Asia's largest species of rhino. In India, they are found in Assam, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh. Assam is home to largest population of greater one-horn rhino, which with more than 90% in Kaziranga National Park, that Pubitoro Wildlife Sanctuary in Assam harbors the highest density of the rhino population. Rhino conservation efforts, Indian Rhino Mission 2022 to increase rhino population in Assam to 3,000 by establishing population in seven protected areas. Special Rhino Protection Force, Assam government constituted this force to check rhino poaching and related activity. So the global rhino population, they are spread over these countries. Okay. Black rhino, white rhino, Sumatran rhino, large one-horned rhino, and greater one-horned rhino. Okay. This is the great one having the great one horn rhino. Horn is here. Okay. Every year, World Rhino Day is observed on 22nd September to spread awareness for all five species of rhinos. Okay. Of rhino and work being done to save them. The first announced by the Wildlife Fund, South Africa in 2010. While poaching and habitat loss remain significant threat to rhino globally, climate change is also impacting their survival. The collaboration among India, Bhutan, and Nepal, along with strict government protection and management, has led to a 20% increase in their population over the past decade. India is estimated to be home to 3262 rhinos, which is a big development, means increase in the number. Okay. The next is the counter-terrorism field training exercise, FTX 2023. Okay. Recently, the Indian Army contingent departed for the Asian Defence Maritime Meeting ADMM Plus Expert Working Group on Counter-Terrorism Field Training 2023. About this counter-terrorism field training exercise 2023, the 25th to 30th September 2023, venue is Russia. It is a multinational joint military exercise being hosted by Russia as a co-chair of the EWG along with the Myanmar exercise IBSMAR. It was preceded by the tabletop exercise of the ADMM Plus and the EWG on counterterrorism at Naypyidaw, Myanmar, from the new capital from 2nd to 4th August 2023. Now, Naypyidaw is the new capital of Myanmar. Historical background: since 2017, Since 2017, the ADMM Plus has met annually to allow dialogue and cooperation among the Association of Southeast Asian nations and the Plus countries. The inaugural ADMM Plus was convened in at Hanoi in Vietnam on 12th October 2010. This year, Asian states along with the Plus group will be participating in the exercise. Objective of the exercise is strengthening and promoting regional cooperation in the field of counter-terrorism. The exercise will comprise a number of counter-terrorism drills, including destroying of terrorist groups in a fortified area. ADMM Plus EWG on Counter-Terrorism 2023 will provide the Indian Army with a platform to share their expertise and best practices in counter-terrorism operations. It will increase the cooperation between the other 12 participating countries. The Indian Army look forward to an enriching professional experience from the exercise because with interaction with the group, so Indian Army will learn a lot about counter terrorism exercises. Okay. Five Eyes Alliance. So, in recent India Canada standoff regarding allegation of Indian government involvement The killing of a separatist leader in Canada has brought attention to the role of the Five Eye Alliance. Okay, the Five Eye Alliance would be Canada, USA, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. They are part of the Five Eye Alliance. Okay, five countries: Canada, USA, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. About the Five Eye Alliance refer to an intelligence sharing partnership among five countries: USA, UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. These nations collaborate closely on intelligence matters, sharing information to protect their shared national interests. Origin of the alliance traced its origin back to the World War II when the UK and USA decided to share intelligence after successfully breaking German and Japan codes. It began at the Britain-US agreement, later evolving into the UK-USA AUKUSA agreement, with Canada joining in 1949, New Zealand and Australia in 1956. That became the Five Eyes Alliance. Okay. So then the PRIP scheme recently, the Union Minister of Chemical and Fertilizer and the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, launched the scheme for promotion of research and innovation in pharma medtech sector. PRIP, pharma medtech sector. About this PRIP scheme, the objective of the scheme is to transform Indian pharmaceutical sector from cost-based to innovation-based growth by strengthening the research infrastructure in the country. It aimed to promote. Hello. तुम्हें अच्छा बोल सकते हैं बाहर ओ अच्छा ओ नहीं फिर फिगर अच्छा ना नहीं बाहर से अच्छा अच्छा तो ओ ठीक है ठीक है Okay, so the objective of the scheme is to transform Indian pharmaceutical sector from cost-based to innovation-based growth by strengthening the research infrastructure in the country. To promote industry academia linkage for R&D in priority area and to inculcate the culture of quality research and nature or pool of scientists. This will lead to sustained global competitive advantage and contribute to quality employment generation in the country. Time period 5 years. The scheme has two components. Component A, strengthening the research infrastructure by establishment of seven center of excellence at National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. That center of excellence would set off in pre-identified areas with a financial outlay of 700 crores. Component B, promoting research in pharmaceutical sector by encouraging research in six priority areas like new chemical entities, complex generic including biosimilars, medical devices, stem cell therapy, orphan drug, antimicrobial resistance, etc. Financial assistance will be provided for the industries, MSME, MSc, startup working with government institutions, and for both in-house and academic research. The component has a financial outlay of 4,250 crores. Then coming to the question, India has high income inequality despite equalizing forces. Do you agree with the imperative? Give example in favor of your answer. There is convergence in income over the world. Poorer countries are catching up with richer countries. The poorer Chinese provinces are catching up with the richer ones. But in India, the less developed states are not catching up. Instead, they are on average falling. Okay, so that is a very big dichotomy. In spite of government of India trying to equalize or reduce disparity, various schemes and government reforms, this is not improving. While India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, it is also one of the most unequal countries. Inequality has been raging sharply for the last 3 decades. The richest have garnered a huge part of the wealth created through chronic capitalism and inheritance. They are getting richer at a much faster pace, while the poorer are still struggling to earn a minimum wage and access quality education and healthcare services, which continue to suffer from chronic underinvestment. These widening gaps and rising inequalities affect women and children the most. Example of income inequality: the top 10% of the Indian population hold 77% of the total national wealth. 73% of the total wealth generated in 2017 went to the richest 1%, while 67 million Indians, who comprise the poorest half of the population, saw only 1% increase in their wealth. This is the dichotomy. There are 119 billionaires in India. The number has increased from only 9 in 2000 to 101 in 2017 and 119 and okay, and India is estimated to produce 70 new millionaires every day. As per the Oxfam International, it could take 941 years for a minimum wage worker in rural India to earn what the top paid executive at the leading Indian government company earns in a year. Take 941 years. Reason behind this inequality: convergence happens especially through trade and through mobility of factors of production. In spite of increased flow of goods and migration of people across various Indian stands out as an exception. Within India, where borders are porous, convergence has spread, whereas across countries where borders are much thicker because of restrictions on trade, capital, and labor, there is a convergence dynamics, that is the cross-country puzzle. Tax progressively, which is a powerful policy tool to contain the rise in inequality, was reduced subsequently. Top tax rates, which were very high in 1970s up to 98%, decreased to 30% in 1980 and after. Inequality has increased due to rise in prices. During inflation, workers in the organized sector get higher wages, which partly offset the effect of the price rise. But wages and salaries of the worker in unorganized sector, like the daily wage earner, such as agriculture, small scale, and cottage industry, do not increase. So their real income or purchase power falls. The main reason for low level of income of the majority of Indian people is unemployment and underemployment and the consequent low productivity of labor. Low labor productivity implies low rate of economic growth, which is the main cause of poverty and inequality of the large masses of people. India's new agricultural strategy led to the Green Revolution and raised agricultural productivity. But the benefit of high productivity were enjoyed mainly by the rich farmers and landowners. At the same time, the economic conditions of landless workers and marginal farmers deteriorated over the years. Most farmers in India could not enjoy the benefit of high agricultural productivity. As a result, inequality in the distribution of income in the rural area has increased. Wage inequality dispersion also increased in many sectors as privatization removed government set pay scales, which were less unequal. On the other hand, growth at the bottom of the distribution was notably lower than average growth rates since the 1980s, because the bottom portion of population, they are not been able to. Okay, Many ordinary Indians are not able to access the health care they need. 63 million of them are pushed into poverty because of healthcare cost every year, almost two people every second. So, reducing the rising inequality is a challenge that requires sustained government intervention. The government needs to break the vicious circle of poverty, which causes inequality, which in turn not only adversely affects sustainable economic growth but also breeds various socio-economic problems. Then coming to the MCQs, every year September 28, 2023 is the 17th World Rabbit Day. Every year it is celebrated on 28th the month. Okay. World Rabbit Day theme 23 is all for one, one health for all. So both are correct here. C. Recently, researchers from the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research Bhopal identified a special circular RNA, RNA called the citran. So it plays a crucial role in the multiplication of the AIDS causing HIV-1 virus within the human body. Ribonucleic acid is a molecule in living cells that carries genetic information and helps in the production of proteins. This circular RNA forms a closed loop. Here, all of these are correct. Recently, the Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting announced that legendary actress Mrs. Vaida Raman will be honored with the Dadasaheb Phalke Lifetime Achievement Award of the year 2021. It is India's highest award in the field of cinema. Okay, so Dadasaheb Phalke Award is the highest award in the film of movie. It's right. It is by the Minister of Tourism. Okay, no, by the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, not by Tourism. The first recipient of the award was Devika Rani, the first lady of Indian cinema. So right. So 1 and 3 are correct, but 2 is incorrect. So 1 and 3 means she. Consider the following with respect to Armed Forces Tribunal. Armed Forces Tribunal is a military tribunal in India established under the Armed Forces Tribunal Act 2007. That is right. Okay. So, any appeal by a person against a decision given by the tribunal can only be taken off in the Supreme Court. That's right. All proceeding in the tribunal will be either in English or Hindi. It is incorrect. 1 and 2 are correct. With reference to breakthrough agenda, consider the following statement. Breakthrough agenda. It was launched by coalition of 45 world leaders at the COP21. That is right. The breakthrough agenda is an international clean technology plan to help keep 1.5 degree in a temperature. So that is incorrect. So only one. So one is correct, but so two one is incorrect. It's not at the COP21. Okay. So it is at the so two is correct, one is incorrect. But the following statement regarding the promotion of research and innovation in pharma medtech sector scheme. It aims to inculcate the culture of quality research and then nurture full of scientists in India. That's right. Under this scheme, financial assistance should be provided for startup working with government institutions. So here both 1 and 2 are correct. Then the word Neanderthals is sometimes mentioned in media. It refers to the early human species, neonatals. Recently, Shift Kaur's Samra won the gold medal Asian Games 2023 in shooting because India signed much in shooting at the Asian Games. Recently, Five Eyes Alliance consider the following statement regarding the recently news Five Eyes Alliance. The Five Eyes Alliance refers to an intelligence sharing partnership, right? Five countries included United States, United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, Russia is not there. Fine. So, in place of Russia, so who are in the Five Eyes Alliance? So, Five Eyes Alliance is an alliance created in the post Second World War period. Okay, in place of Canada is there, New Zealand is there, UK is there, USA is there, Russia is not there. In place of Russia, it is Australia. So 2 is incorrect. So in place of Russia, it is Australia. So Russia is not there. So 2 is incorrect. And the following application, healthcare, automobile, aerospace. How many of these applications given above can be achieved by 3D printing? So all the three can be achieved through the 3D printing, the new mechanism in technology. Okay. So this way, we are completing today's discussion. Thank you for watching. Keep watching regularly to update yourself. Thanks a lot.